But state journalism, I think, and local journalism is important because it gets the stories that might not otherwise be told by the national publications.
Right.
It gets them told.
Hello and welcome to The Book Drop, Omaha Public Library's podcast about books, our community, and the joy of reading. I'm Maggie Peterson. I'm the Outreach Manager for Omaha Public Library, and I'm joined as always by
Amy Ballard, the Partnerships Manager for Omaha Public Library.
There's something about the cold that just makes me lose all sense.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
We're in an Arctic freeze.
We are.
Yeah.
Happy winter.
Happy winter. Ugh.
Yeah.
We are 1 month down.
Yeah.
So that's good.
It's true.
I've always said the worst thing about winter is like all of the things I look forward to in it happen in the first week, and then I just kind of have to white knuckle it
Yeah.
until the end.
Yeah.
And it's long, brother.
Wear our sleeping bag coats.
Ugh, I hate wearing a coat. I hate wearing a coat.
It's so much material.
I'm so overstimulated. I'm just like,
Are you really?
Oh my God. It's too much.
Okay.
I hate it.
Okay.
I'm living a nightmare.
Yeah.
Welcome
I can
to
see that.
Welcome to the Book Drop podcast.
Yeah.
We're having a terrible time. Just kidding. We're having a great time.
Inside,
Good,
where it's
inside.
warm.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So how's the TikTok exiting going
Oh my
for
God.
you?
Time is meaningless. I realized it had been a whole week since I stopped being on the TikTok.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to, when I first got it off, I'd be like, well, we'll see how long this lasts. I have not gotten back on it since.
Really?
But I have to tell you, I feel very disconnected in a way. That was where I was getting everything, all of my pop culture, all of my fashion, all of my local stuff, all of my news, everything. I mean, maybe not like my sole source, but it was where I'd hear a lot of things first and then follow up with other sources.
Sure.
But it's weird. I'm having to learn a whole new lifestyle, it feels like.
Well, I'm also having to figure out where I'm going to get my pop culture news because that was you, Maggie.
I was your reporter and my source was TikTok.
Exactly. So I feel a little
I promise to do better by you. I'm going to figure out
weird
what to
this
do.
week.
I feel like I get a lot of my stuff on Reddit right now.
Oh, well,
On
that's
Reddit
okay.
A lot more.
I will say I did have I couldn't remember what I was going to ask you, but it was a pop culture thing that I needed to consult with you. And
yes.
Then I felt lost.
I remember we were in a meeting or something. You're like, oh, I meant to ask you, this celebrity couple broke up, right? And I was like, who? Because you just said literally that celebrity couple. And I'm like, who did? And you're like, I don't know. And I was like,
but I think
oh, God.
you would have known it.
I probably would have if I had been on TikTok
Give you
at the time.
as little information as possible.
That's my
and you
favorite.
Figure it out.
You're chaotic that way. She's got a way.
I am.
And it is chaos.
It is chaos.
Well, it's good timing to be talking about this because we are coming up on News Literacy Week.
I know. This is our second episode. We did one last year during News Literacy Week.
Which was amazing.
It really was because we had a phenomenal conversation with Matt Wynn, the founder of Flatwater Free Press. Yeah. And it was a really fun, interesting conversation with him. So we're going to add some of those links back into our show notes just because they were so great.
They're so great.
Yeah.
And it is a busy time for them. So
it is.
While we would love to have them on, basically on whenever they can.
I know.
We still wanted to recognize the week. And
for sure.
So we did have a very extra fun guest this week.
We did. And we have an origin story how that happened, but we'll introduce them. So we had a great conversation with Daniel Vanourney, who is the circulation manager of the Lance at Westside High School. And I first met Daniel. So the email got forwarded to me from our collection development manager because he had reached out to her wanting to expand the reach of the print publication of the Lance. And Deirdre had forwarded it to me. So I reached out to Daniel and he came by and we met. And I was immediately struck by how passionate and energetic. Also, that's amazing.
He was very charming.
He was so charming. And we adore him to We adore him so much. And so we now have the Lance available in all of our branches for folks to pick up and take home. And I love the stories. I think it's such a cool thing to have a journalism program in a high school where they really get to test out their all the things related to journalism.
Yes. Yeah. It's obviously in a lot of journalism classes, you're learning the basics, you learn like the mechanics and everything, but then actually to go out and practice it.
I know. I think all we had was yearbook. I don't even, I mean, I was not in that crowd. So I was more in we hang out with the garage bands crowd.
You were much cooler than I was.
I don't know. I should have been hanging out with the journalism crowd. However, it's been such a delight to actually have the connection to Daniel and to see where it all starts. And that I like to see where he will go too, because this is last year. Yeah, in high school.
Yeah. So we got to go to Westside High School and actually
interview him
and get lost in Westside High School, which was also fun.
Oh, we did. We were trying to get to the recording room, but we made a wrong turn and ended up in a cafeteria.
We got set straight a couple times.
We did. But the nice lady in the cafeteria said, "You're welcome to come back and have some food if you'd like." And we were like, "We might.
We might actually do that." It's that time of day.
Yeah. Yeah. So stay tuned and hear our conversation.
Let's hear more.
I'm Daniel Vanourney. I am a senior at Westside High School, circulation manager and staff writer for The Lance, which is our journalism department's print news magazine. And I like movies, I like music, I like books. Excited to be here today.
You like it all.
Yeah.
We're so excited to be here with you and to interview you for News Literacy Week.
I know. Yeah, it's nice being on the other side. Normally, I'm the one doing the interview.
Okay,
for sure.
It's nice being on the other side for once.
How often are you interviewing? Would you say?
It really just depends on because our cycles are usually 2-week cycles. So we've got 2 weeks, get 2 stories. Just depends. Sometimes I'll do 2 stories that are both interviews. Sometimes I'll do one that's needs interviews, one that's opinion or review or something.
Sure.
Sometimes I'll do 2 opinions or reviews. So it really just depends. I will say sometimes when you got 2 interviews, it's gotta lock in because luckily my freshman year I made the mistake of not downloading Otter to transcribe interviews. And now I started doing that my sophomore year. Saves me so much time. Yeah. Because I just basically export it all into a Google Doc, and then I can just copy and paste quotes where I need them, and save so much time.
Accurate and
and Otter's really good, and
amazing. So. Well, we're here to talk today about
News Literacy Week. Yes.
And one thing we just want to kind of touch on is the world of high school journalism.
Yes.
I think it's something that maybe some people were maybe a part of when they were in high school, me. But other people might not be kind of aware about it. So can you tell us more about, I guess, your experience with it? Because at Westside you have the Lance. Can you tell us a little bit about its history and what you cover as student writers, photographers?
And you have a print edition as well as an online edition, right? And they serve 2 different audiences. Is it separate content?
So with Lance, we have Lance and Shield. Shield is our yearbook. Lance is our print news magazine. To my knowledge, those have both been around forever. Those are the 2 original publications. Nowadays, we're kind of split off into a few different ones because there's Wired, which is our online, it's our website, westsidewire.net. And Lance and Westside Wired both are similar in a way because a lot of the Lance stories do get uploaded there. There is a digital version, I think, that we do through Issue that we put on Wired, and then a lot of sport. It's a lot of sports stories, so we would try to get, our staff grew this semester, thankfully, by 6 people.
Oh, wow.
Which is nice.
How many people total then do you have right now?
About, between because Wired and Lance are together, they're trying to merge the 2 publications kind of, so they're more intertwined, which is nice, which makes sense to me, frankly, because it's a lot of the same type of content that you'd see on both of them.
Dedupe.
So we're about 20 to 22 people probably right now, I'd say.
Pretty big team.
Which isn't too shabby because Yeah, and 2 years ago, because this is the first year that we're like really trying to intertwine the two of them. Last year we maybe had like 10 people on Lance. So, and then so it's like nice that we're intertwining them. And then, because frankly, again, a lot of the content is the same, which is nice. So,
yeah. And what got you interested in pursuing, investing your time and your talent into the Lance?
Yes. Well, my dad went to Bryan High School, and he was like his newspaper's editor for like the last 2 years, I think, when he was at Bryan. So he was just kind of did it. His degree is in like communications from UNO. So I kind of just did it because he did it, and I'm like, you know what, I'll see if I like it or not. So took the semester-long mass communications course, which is just like the prerequisite to join any of the publications. And we also have sports journalism, photojournalism, and WTV, which is where we're like right now, which is like the broadcast YouTube side of things, which are all newer, and Westside Wired's obviously newer because the internet was not around 70 or so years ago. I know, it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been here my entire life.
New things.
It's
every
true.
day. Oh wait, that's crazy. The internet's been around your whole life.
Yeah, basically, because I mean, I
see myself out.
I was born in 2007. iPhone got released a couple months after I was born. So basically, it's been the modern internet to some extent has been around my whole life, which is crazy to think about.
Wow. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if my brain gets there on its own.
Yeah.
Without the reminder.
But yeah, so I did journalism because my dad did it, and I liked it, and here we are 4 years later.
Yeah. Storytelling.
Yeah. Loves good storytelling.
I think it's at the heart of how we connect as a community.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would
and
agree
learn
with
about
that.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yourself, I think, too.
100%.
Great.
Yeah.
Great way to put it.
I love that.
So what kind of things do you report on for the Lance?
Yeah.
Ooh, so some of the opinions I've done,
Ooh, we're so
some of the
excited to hear
opinions I've
more.
done, I've got to think about this because, so I did a in-depth that actually made it to NSAA state journalism last
That's like
year.
state journalism competition?
Yeah, so NSAA, you think of them, it's like track, football. It's like Nebraska State Activities Association.
Okay.
I believe is what it stands for, and they like basically are the state governing body for like all of the high school sports and stuff. As it turns out, there is a journalism competition that falls under them for state, which is like really weird to think about because normally I think of them when you're like sports, football, track at
Kind of
Burke,
like the
but
Olympics that you think it's
Yeah.
all these, and then also now breakdancing.
Yeah,
There's certain things
yeah.
you're like,
Exactly.
okay, I'm here for it. You don't need to convince me.
Exactly. So it's like you think of it in sports because a lot of times I think people also it's like Nebraska State Athletics Association. It's activities. So there's esports, there's journalism. I'm sure there's a couple other random things I can't think of. I think speech and debate probably would fall under them.
Would fall under activities.
So we have journalism though. So I did an in-depth that made 8th place state journalism, which was nice last year. And that was over Shield Time, which is like our homeroom. Stands for like, I can't even remember the acronym. That was literally the title of it because a lot of people don't even remember the acronym. So I'm like, the title's just going to be the acronym. So it's like service, equity, inclusion, health, something or other. I don't even remember the full acronym. But I did that because I'm like, Shield Time is a waste of our time because it's like 8 o'clock to 8:10, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, we're out at 2:50, so we're out 20 minutes early, so there is no Shield Time. It's like a 1-credit class a semester now, which it wasn't my freshman year because our principal got a new principal, switched from Dr. Opperman, I think, Jay Opperman. Now we got Dr. Dostal, who's also first name is Jay. Got him my freshman year, so it's also his senior year of being a principal at Westside, kind of, in a way. So we got him. He made it a credit class, switched out. We also used to have half mods, so it used to be like 14 mods instead of 10. Got rid of the half mods, though, because we just stopped utilizing them, I guess, as like schedules progress and change and courses get modified. Yeah, we're one of 10 high schools that uses modular scheduling. So the nice thing about that is 37-minute classes, unless it's like a double mod, which is like about 80 minutes. So 37-minute classes is nice. I don't know how OPS and Millard and Papillion do the like block scheduling. I would hate that.
Which is an hour?
hour, 2 hours. Some schools do hours, some do hour and a half, some do 2 hours. I don't like it. It sounds horrible to me. I like my 37-minute classes. But the downside of modular scheduling.
As long as my own attention span can last 40 minutes.
So the downside of modular scheduling, though, is that there's cross sections. So sometimes the crosses are scheduled and they're like conflicts. So you got to figure that out with your teachers. The nice thing, though, is that, and the other downside, which is like a downside if you're new to Westside and you're getting transferred from a different school, or even as a teacher, right, is one, again, 37 minutes, got to get people off their phones and to focus, and you got like 35 solid minutes to teach them. And then, again, 37 minutes, cross sections. Every day is a different schedule. It's not like the same schedule every day due to the modular scheduling, which is nice because it lets you take a lot of classes. And that was kind of Westside's idea when they implemented it, I think, too, is like we want more class variety. So I'm like in fashion, I'm in pottery 6 right now, and those are like all semester classes. So I'm like pottery 6 honors. I'm in photo, I'm in fashion, journalism, marketing 2.
Love it.
Through marketing, I'm in DECA. And then there's all like the required like science classes, math classes, English classes, government/social studies/history classes.
So it's nice and well-rounded.
Yeah, and then there's other business classes. There's engineering classes.
Sure.
So
you writing this article, what was the result?
the result was that there was our principal, Dr. Dostal, made every teacher at like some staff meeting, he was like, you guys should read this article. So he almost made it homework for them to read it. Had a talk with one of our vice principals here. Again, we have multiple vice principals. We're a big school.
Yeah, you have a ton of students.
Yeah, like 2,200, which is insane. So think of Creighton. We're basically half the size of Creighton High School, or Creighton University. We're roughly half the size of their undergraduate class, I think.
No idea.
Amy, we talked about this before, that I'm terrible at looking at things and knowing how many are there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
maybe
Creighton's
300 here.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Creighton's enrollment's about 4,000, so we're about half of Creighton's enrollment, which is insane. But yeah, so that got me talked with the vice principal. So they're like they're still kind of working on improving it.
Yeah.
I think for underclassmen and stuff, obviously as a senior, it's like your last year, so there's
grassroots
not
action here.
So still working on it, but it did open up that conversation, which was nice.
Love it.
And that's a lot of times it is like kind of the hardest part. The hardest part is like how do you even kickstart the conversation and even do it? So.
Yeah, so that's nice because that opened up that door, which was nice. Non-opinion or editorial pieces. There's a few. I did one when Moot's Pizza opened up across the street at Countryside Village. Did one when they opened their brick and mortar.
Over there right now, so that's
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Westside parking is a mess, so
And
I don't
we love
blame
their
you.
pizza.
Yeah, you guys can go say hi to Colin might be there, Brent might be there. You guys can go say hi to them. They're amazing. Did a story on them though.
The brothers.
So, Brent is like the day-to-day manager, and he's Colin's father.
Okay.
So it's like it's like Colin started it. His whole family's involved there. They got Westside students working there. Some of Colin's friends work there. So it's like very family involved, which I really love. The staff there was always really nice. Love them. But I did a story on them. So that was like my first issue sophomore year. So then after that, I dropped those issues off, and then I kind of just kept dropping issues off there. Fast forward to this year, I'm circulation manager. One of my goals is that we're going to get into the library, finally get into contact with Amy, finally email the right person, and they get me in touch with her.
Yeah.
And, a few months later, here we are, and we got Lance in the library, which I think is awesome.
And we're talking to you because I think it's so awesome to think about journalism from high school level and like what you all do to promote news literacy and just to reach storytelling across like.
You're also just kind of in a different landscape, I think, than a lot of other. You're coming up at a time of journalism where, all sorts of things are happening. So it's also just interesting to touch base.
Especially like in our climate right now, where news literacy is very fraught with like how do you get the story out there and know? I'm curious. I mean, sometimes we go off script with the questions because the conversation takes that to different directions. But this is News Literacy Week. And I'm sure you all have discussion with each other about like how to be at the heart of the story, the truth, making sure that you are producing a story that is honest, and that people are knowing that you're distributing accurate news.
Yes.
And you probably talk about the state of what is happening out there and how to discern like what is real, what's not real, and all that. So what is your current discussion in the climate that we are in?
Currently, honestly, with like Lance and stuff, the nice thing is that they're pretty open to us. We can do pretty much whatever.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I love that. Honestly, with like high school journalism, we try to chase a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So as long as we feel like we're telling it as unbiased as we can, telling the truth of whoever we might be interviewing, making sure we're getting the story right, you know, following up with them if need be. And then, of course, there are like AP style guidelines because we do follow AP style, which is pretty much industry standard except for a few publications here and there that have like their own style book. I will say one thing I do like about Lance and Wired especially is it's free. We don't really have a lot of ads. When we do, it's like coffee shop.
Sure.
Like we don't really go for a lot of ads.
Community supported.
Yeah, we're very, and again, we're a school, so we're a public school, so it's not like we have to make a profit. Whereas like the Omaha World Herald likes to hide behind paywalls, which I don't personally like. I will always go for the paywall, removing websites, because there are some good stories that they've done. And Washington Post also tends to hide behind paywalls. Any of the big like national publications generally have paywalls to some extent. I always say go for the paywall blocker because there's a lot of good content usually to some extent, but they like to hide behind paywalls. Lance is free. We distribute it to the library for free. We distribute it to Moots for free, which I think is great because I think making it accessible and free is a big thing. KTV is nice because they're free. The only downside with them is that they have all the hidden ads that look like news stories and they're like kind of junk mail ads. Like they're not anything super interesting or relevant to especially teenagers. But that being said, that's still better at the end of the day to be ad supported than hide behind like paywalls and stuff because gotta make a profit somehow, I get. And that's where you get like Flatwater Free Press, which is non-profit, not really ads, they're like donor funded, and they're amazing. They make really great content too that I think sometimes legacy publications like the World Herald might be either too big to produce because, again, they own like half the newspapers in Nebraska. They have like a Platte Valley one. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So I think that not only is Omaha World Herald too big, but they're also a legacy publication. I think that might be too scared to kind of chase some of those stories that like the Flatwater Free Press is unafraid to go chase because they're newer, more modern, just got the website. There's like no print edition that I'm aware of. So that's really nice.
Right.
So, and again, bias in news, gotta do your best to eliminate it, but there's, I mean, it's human nature. There's, I don't think one way or another that it's gonna ever fully be eliminated, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. It's just gotta be careful with that line because if you're too biased, that's where we start getting into like misinformation, disinformation, and people's emotions start to get in that story, and then it's just like, gotta draw that line somewhere. Gets complicated, yeah.
So how are you guys finding your stories? How do you identify what you're going to cover?
So the nice thing again with Lance that I said is like we are able to pick our own stories pretty much. So people have done like reviews. Like I think they're trying to do, someone's doing a review for this next issue, either Wired or Lance, on The Housemaid, which is a film that just came out a couple weeks ago. Great film, love it. My freshman year, second semester when I joined Lance, I did a story on Westside doing walkouts because there were a couple of legislative bills at the time that were like very homophobic, anti-trans legislation. So I was doing a story on the walkouts of those because I myself am bi, so it's like kind of affects me to an extent. So I did a story on that, which was really good. Got a couple good photos actually for that one too, I thought, because I did the photos for that one, which was nice. And that was before we switched to like the magazine format too. Over the course of Lance's history, we were pretty much newsprint format to some extent. It was just like how it was folded, and the logo was gone through few different iterations. Sophomore year is when we switched to the magazine paper, magazine shape format, which I think is nice because the photo quality is better. You can have more freedom with design, I feel like.
And how often is it published?
We aim for 3 times a semester, 6 issues a year overall. Sophomore year, I think we only hit 5 issues, which is fine, but we aim for 6 issues a year, 3 a semester.
And how many articles roughly do you think are in there? Articles,
About
opinions, all that stuff.
20 to 30 pages. It just kind of depends, again, on staff. And I did a story on memoir that year when memoir opened.
I just ate there for the first time.
I know.
It's so good.
Yeah, Flagship does a good job with the restaurants.
Hospitality was like,
Yeah, and I got to interview the chief operating officer. So for a lot of people with like Flagship, most people know them probably from Blue Sushi, because that's like their biggest chain that they have. There's Black Legacy, which just closed at the end of the year because they're rebranding that to Clio.
Yeah.
They're,
are they really?
Yep. My dad
interesting.
was a
Okay.
waiter there, so that's how like we knew before a lot of people knew, because they're rebranding that to Clio. There is a Black downtown that I don't think's going anywhere just because they get all the College World Series traffic. That's not going anywhere. They have Roja, and then they just open up like a Memoir, Champagne Lanes, Clio, all in downtown, like right next to each other. So I did an interview with the chief operating officer. There's 4 owners that are all friends, so they all kind of have their specialty. Like Hitchcock, who's the operating officer that I interviewed, he like kind of focuses more on like the day-to-day operations. One of the owners does like the design of the restaurants and like the architecture behind them. So they all kind of have like their own little specialty. There's a culinary officer who's one of the owners that does like the menus and stuff.
love it.
So really cool team. Got to interview at their corporate offices, which are based like the Blue on Maple Street. Corporate offices are like bottom level of that building, which is like
interesting. Okay.
what a lot of people I don't think realize.
Yeah.
Their corporate offices are pretty cool. I will say that. They have like a whole wall of just menus from like Omaha restaurants. And I know you said that you guys have like a collection of menus.
thank you.
So,
Gotta bark
you
up
know,
that tree.
yeah, so that was really cool. They have like a test kitchen. Their corporate offices, like their support staff and stuff are all there.
I love
So
it.
that was really fun to do. And then I interviewed like one of the district level managers for Flagship at the time. It was fun. Got to take like a little tour. So that was just like really fun doing all of that. And then I did the Moots story. Another story I did that I really like, that I think we should do on, is the Vallis story that I did.
You just literally
It's my special interest.
spoke love to like that is her heart and soul.
Because the 3 Vallis sisters are the owners
Yes.
currently. As their parents have gotten older, the 3 Vallis sisters have taken over their owners now. Interviewed the oldest one, I believe it was. Their names all I get mixed up because they're also with K's. I think it's Kirsten, who was the one I interviewed. She's the oldest one. She like does more of the food and social media aspect. I will say I did that at the grandma's barn.
The pie barn?
Not the
Oh,
pie
no, the
barn.
pie barn. Oh, the one where they have the
one-
open roast beef sandwiches. And
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, grandma's
it's by the
kitchen.
Bunny Village.
Yeah, grandma's kitchen.
I
Did the
have to
interview
go
there.
there.
You're gonna go, Amy. I get
Yeah.
new houses every year. You're gonna come.
Yeah, you guys should
We're
go.
gonna have a-
I've never been.
Yeah, you've never been?
I have
It's
never
like
been.
an Omaha staple.
I know.
She's
and
a transplant though, so she came
Oh.
as an adult, and I went
Yeah.
as a kid, and it was very different when I was
Very
a kid.
different, yeah.
When I had my
I know.
youngest, or my oldest, I went one time that we were gonna be home, and I remember going out there and being like, "Oh my god, the prices are what? Okay,
Yeah.
fine, we'll just check it off the list." Oh no, they had me hooked. Absolutely, I'm a Vallis defender. I know the prices are expensive, but it is worth
It's
it.
like fall Disneyland. That's the way I like to think of it. It's
It
like
is
farm
less-
Disneyland. And I mean, that's like the whole
Yeah.
terminology they use is they're like in,
I always call it a harvest-themed theme park.
yeah,
Like,
that's exactly what it is.
Wow.
it is less a pumpkin patch and more of a
Yeah,
theme
and the
park.
terminology they use is they're like in the agri-tainment sector.
That's very accurate.
So it's like combining agriculture, and I think they do it really well. I mean, they're like a multi-million-dollar company.
Sure.
When you look at how many tickets they sell, the food sales,
Yeah,
they're like $1 million
agri-tainment.
company.
And they are making the money and they are charging, but my defense for them, they are obviously putting in so much money. They put so much of that money back into that
Yes,
place every year. They're
yes.
constantly opening
Yeah.
new rides, new experiences. And really, once you're in the door, you don't pay for anything else unless you want to buy food or like souvenirs. Like
Yeah.
basically everything is included.
Yes.
Oh.
This
Anything
is
you
true.
wanna
The
do.
rides are included. Yeah, that is really nice.
Okay.
But yeah, that was like the nice thing about that though was one, I'm like someone that likes to know like the behind the scenes to everything. Which again, like the memoir story, the Moots story, those are 2 examples of that. The Vallis story is the other one. So I interviewed her, 80-minute in-person interview, longest interview I've ever had. Had to actually buy the premium otter version because I forgot that it stopped
my
recording
gosh.
after like 30 minutes on the free version.
Yeah.
So I had to get the premium version to unlock it, which is fine. I don't mind it. It's only like 15, 16 bucks a month, which isn't horrible, especially if you're like using it like all the time. So that was really fun. And then I interviewed Brad Doolittle, who does like he's like the term I came up with is like he's like the Valaneer of Valas.
Oh,
so like think like Imagineer at Disneyland. I think like Valaneer because he like does like all the.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
well,
don't know. No, they're different.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'm going to process that thought.
Okay, thanks.
It's going to take me an hour.
Because he does like all the animatronics design.
okay,
So I did like a 40-minute phone interview with him about that, which was really cool.
That's
I was able to learn about that. And then merged those two together. The online story is way longer than the print story because we had to cut it down because we usually limit ourselves to just like a 2-page spread. Other magazines, they'll do multiple page spreads. We just limit ourselves to 2-page spreads, which is fine. Cutting stories down is a good skill to learn, I think. And then another story I did was like, you go to Countryside Village, right? That entire neighborhood, and it's kind of like a crescent around the city. Substandard roads, you'll find them crescent around the city.
That's its own thing altogether.
Yeah. Those roads over there, unless you're like on Countryside's property, because Countryside does keep. They just replaced almost all their sidewalks on their own property. But the public roads there, they're not up to city code, so there are substandard roads. And the city won't city won't maintain them unless the homeowners get them up to city ordinance.
They got to get them up first.
So I interviewed like the county engineer and then who used to be the city engineer, and then I interviewed the city engineer about that because I thought that was really interesting. And that story
in my life was over there.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
It was a long time.
Yeah, so the homeowners have to pay to have it repaved and getting city roads over there would be like $1 million project. Like city roads are not cheap. Concrete's not cheap. I mean, getting it to city code would be expensive, but I just thought that was really fascinating because I'm like, there's a public school right across the street and you guys have these really sketchy roads that are falling apart. And so I was like, I'm going to dig into this. So I did that story, which was interesting. Learned a lot about the history of how Omaha has just had really bad luck with its concrete mixes.
I know, that's its own.
Which is also like its own thing. Yeah. So that kind of got brought into the conversation. So that was like a really interesting story to do. So I just kind of go after what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I love it.
And usually it sticks pretty well.
So I was going to say on that note, I've got one question I'm going to tuck in here that isn't on here, but then we'll end with the very final one. Why do you think local journalism is important?
Yeah.
I think it's important because also being in like high school journalism, we get to go to the Journalism Education Association / National Scholastic Press Association conventions. There was one year we skipped out on it because it was in Kansas City and we're in Omaha. So we went to the one in New York City that's held by Columbia. That was like a month before all the protests started happening and all that craziness went down, thankfully. But otherwise, I've been in New York City, Boston, Seattle, Nashville. We're going to Minneapolis in April.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I'm a 40-year-old lady. I'm not going to go hang out with high schoolers. Unless you guys are into it. We'll go.
I know. So we're going there, though, in April. So a lot of that, like a lot of those like breakout sessions that they do there are like based around like local journalism, which is really fun. And you get to learn a lot. You get all sorts of free swag from all the colleges that go. Really fun. Actually, the Nashville one that we did in November was held at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel and Resort. And we got the hotel rooms there, the convention rooms there. So it was amazing. That was like a blast. Totally 10 out of 10 would go there again. Now I understand kind of why people live in Nashville, actually, which is something I never thought I'd say. But here we are.
Well, you kind of, you get exposed to other places and be like, okay,
so that's another thing I like too about journalism is you get the trips that you get to go on opportunities with, which is really fun because you get exposed to other cities, which is, I think, important, especially with the sheer size of the United States. But local journalism, I think, is important because you have to have locally based journalism because a nationally based journalism is great for like the federal level, national level, even sometimes maybe state level. If you're in California, Pennsylvania, Florida, Texas, where like the governors, they're like basically their own mini presidents. But state journalism, I think, and local journalism is important because it gets the stories that might not otherwise be told by the national publications.
Right.
It gets them told. Nonprofits like the Flatwater Free Press really will go after like those deep cutting stories that, again, legacy publications I think are either too legacy or too afraid to necessarily chase after in their nonprofit, which is absolutely incredible in itself, which I think is important to support them. So I think it's just important because it tells the stories that otherwise will not be told. And in a lot of ways, I think it does it at a more ethical level with more integrity than sometimes the national publications who just want their clickbaity headlines and they just want the clicks to get their revenue.
Right.
Yeah, they live here, they know the story, they know the people.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
That's how the Moon's story happened. That's how the Ballast story happened. That's how the Flagship story happened. And my dad, again, used to work at the Legacy Blatt location before they shut it down last month. So I was able to get a couple of contacts through him, which was nice. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we like to end with a little, because we're in the library.
Yeah.
Of course. Gotta love the library.
Yes.
We want to know, what are you reading right now?
Yeah. Or your favorite reads of the year.
So I used to be like super big into reading in elementary school, and then I got this thing.
He's holding up a phone, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm not as big into reading as I used to be, unfortunately. However, I do love physical media. I just, actually, issue 3, there's a story in there where I kind of like go after and defend physical media because I think it's important. You could get a Kindle, and if that's your jam, that's great, but you don't own it at the end of the day.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You get a physical book, it's yours to keep. You get a DVD or a Blu-ray, it's yours to keep. Streaming services, you don't own it. They can edit the content. They can do what they want.
They can pull things back.
They can hold things back. They can buy each other up. I think that we're lacking in regulations on the FTC's part over the last decade. Because I feel like a lot of those studios are just eating each other up and they're monopolizing.
Yeah.
You look at Cox Communications in Omaha, I'd even argue that they're kind of a monopoly. Luckily, we have Allo and Google Fiber, which I know people are excited about, just because that's going to break up Cox and maybe force them to be more competitive. But some books I like. So I have two nonfiction and two fiction.
Okay.
So the two fiction that I'm going to recommend are the Keeper of the Lost City series.
Okay.
I'm like 2 books behind on that, made by Shannon Messenger. Got to meet her at San Diego Comic-Con a couple years back. Those books are like pretty thick books. If you can read Harry Potter, then I think you'll be fine with these books. They're like pretty thick, like 500, 600, 700 page books.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple that even range into the 800 page category, which is insane. But I read them like 5th, 6th grade, got through them, loved them. I think that they're just really good because they're like young, good. They're like, you can read them as like 10, 11 years old, I think, again, if you can read Harry Potter. But I think that there is some stuff that if you're a teenager or like 13, 14, 15, you'll appreciate on a deeper level than if you're like 10, 11, 12 reading them. Because they're like young adult fantasy, there's some romance and there's some comedy.
Oh yeah, books
It's
are
like,
for everybody.
Yeah, it's like standing up for kind of what you believe in. And then there's The Hunger Games, which also, again, standing up for what you believe in, there's good lessons to be learned. Like even you look at people like Snow and it's like, you know, on some extent I think that there are some people that can kind of relate to him and his story, which is like crazy, but it's important. So those stories are also good. They're also, I think, unfortunately, politically relevant in today's society. Nonfiction books I'll hit you with are The Ins and Outs of In-N-Out Burger by Lindsay Snyder, who's the owner and granddaughter of In-N-Out's original founder. And that just kind of talks about the story of In-N-Out, the founding, her experiences working there. So that's just really fun. And then the other story, the book that I'll give you, is I believe, okay, I forgot the exact name of it, so you guys can correct me if you know, but I believe it's like Inside the House by Sherry Frankie. It's like something like that. And it's the
Inside the House of the House of My Mother or something like
that.
Yeah.
And it's by Sherry Frankie, who's the eldest daughter of Ruby Frankie, who 8 Passengers. I used to watch them a lot as a kid, and then all sorts of craziness went down after I stopped kind of watching them. She got arrested. So it's like a memoir / autobiography by her of her experiences going through that.
Yeah.
And it's a really great book, especially if you grew up watching like all those like Mormon YouTube family vloggers
vlog, yeah.
then.
I think the family vlog.
And a lot of them are based out of Utah because they're like all like Mormon and stuff.
And California recently passed laws of how they can handle the funds that come from family vloggers, and there's a lot of family vloggers who are living in California now or purposely leaving, but coincidentally being like, no, we really want to go live in Nashville now. But it's because California passed laws about how they handle the funds they make off their children.
Yeah. So that book I thought was really interesting just because I had a connection to it because I used to watch them all the time as a kid. So yeah.
Wow.
Those are like the 4 different books I would give you guys if you guys need recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear
I love it. That's awesome.
And I know for a fact too, the library does carry almost every single one of the Hunger Games books. I know for a fact because it's Hunger Games. What library wouldn't cover that? I know for a fact they cover a lot of the Keeper of the Lost Cities books because I used to. That's how I started reading them, was from the library. Millard Branch, favorite library branch. I don't know if you guys have a favorite library branch.
do you have like a favorite branch?
Millard Branch is my favorite branch. Love them. And then I don't know about the other 2. Maybe you guys have them. Maybe
No,
you
we
don't.
definitely have I know we have the Sherry Frankie one for sure. That was a huge book last year.
Yeah.
Because that was a bombshell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we love this. Thank you so much for taking time out to talk to us today.
Yeah.
And it would be fun if you could come over to Central when we open it.
Yes, I am planning on exploring that because
Yes.
I look at the building and it's like so modern looking that I almost question the architects who designed it. Like, I don't know, I'll have to see it when it's like open and when I go inside.
Yeah.
But during the construction, I'm like, this building just looks too dang modern. Of course, Crossroads is across the street, and that's just a dirt lot with Target. So maybe once that development finally gets up and going, it'll fit in a bit more. But I am excited about that.
Well, if you're inspired to do a story for the Lance, we would love it.
I know I might low-key do one because I might need a story in April when you guys are opening that.
Yeah,
so
please.
I honestly very well might be doing a story on that. Yeah.
We would
That
love
would
it.
also be relevant to Lance. It would be relevant to you guys because you guys carry Lance now.
And I
which is
know.
exciting.
We're very close. We'll be close.
Yeah,
I know, that's a nice thing.
Tons of resources and all sorts of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you guys.
What a great conversation with Daniel. I had a lot of takeaways from that conversation, and I know this is not quite related to News Literacy Week. However, how many students would you have thought go to Westside when we walked up? I was like maybe 1,000 altogether.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We talked about this on the way out, that one of my worst traits is that I am terrible at guesstimating things. I'll be like, surely this theater can hold 150 people. And it's like, it's actually 14,000. I'll be like, whoa. It
So
was
we
a
had
similar
that moment.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it 4,000 he said?
Yeah, he said somewhere like between 3 and
4,000
4.
students.
I can't even picture that
That's
many
a
people. in the place.
lot.
Yeah. It's
Where
a large
are
high
they
school.
all at? It feels.
I know.
It's very compact.
It's compact, and yet you and I both got lost.
It's true.
Twice.
It felt very big. It's kind of one of those sneaky little houses that you see, and you're like, oh, that looks like a small house, and you go in, and you're like, whoa, this is a big house.
Where's all this stuff been hiding?
And you see a big house, and you go in, and you're like, wow, this is a really small house. I have that all the time.
Same. I blame my poor spatial awareness.
I think I have that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I think for me, one thing I was very struck by with talking to Daniel, when we talk about like, well, how are you finding stories and how do you identify like what you're going to cover? And some of the things he told us about, if like when he's finding those stories, I think at the core of it, it was just this like attention to detail.
Sure.
Like he's noticing like the big things, but all these also the really little things, like the effects of other choices and decisions that are being made. And it's such an interesting age range to be in high school because you are kind of mini adults in a way, like you're expected to carry yourself in a certain way, but very little agency in some ways that you don't other people going to make decisions for you but they do affect your life. So I was really struck by that, just that attention to the detail and wanting to report and share information and make sure his fellow students are aware of what's going on. And I think it
heard.
And I think it kind of starts here.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what this whole generation of budding journalists does. We are moving to an era. It's like who 15 years ago could have predicted something like TikTok, like taking off and being such like a primary source for people. What is going to be the next 15 years?
The misinformation out there and how to really figure out like what is fact, what is not.
Yes. And especially when you think of like the deep fake AIs that you can fully, just make a video.
Social media is full of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Literally.
That is one of my favorite Reddits to look at is it AI that someone will post a picture or a video and we can all debate. But now there's a big debate in that subreddit of like, are these bots trying to perfect their AI? Like, are they posting me like, what do you think of this picture? Is this AI? And then everyone's going like, the fingers don't look right, or like this little part. And it's like, we're just training them to be better at it.
So I know. So Maggie, early, I think it was this past week, I asked you a question, even though you're not on TikTok anymore, but I wanted to know what you thought the 2025 trends, because I do love thinking about trends. Yeah. But I did read somewhere, and I feel like you're following the trend, is that people are like exiting these platforms and
disengaging from these like electronic sources.
Yeah. Big capital IRL.
Yeah. No, I do. I think the movement's been there for, probably as long as we have these things.
For sure.
Like there's obviously been the voices to speak against it, but I don't know. And I understand that I have my own bias because I'm doing it right now. But I think what got me to start doing it is I was hearing about it more and people talking about it and their approach and how they kind of have done this in their lives. And I don't know if there's something to that of just being able to hear it more and that more people are doing it.
Sure. Yeah. But I also think changing something like that up and really, that was a significant change for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're going to learn things about yourself. You're giving yourself different, your brain is going to have more space.
Yes.
It's just going to
100%. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm excited that you did it, even though pop culture news, I will have to find somewhere else.
Really looking forward to months and years.
Let's read magazines together. Actual magazines.
That'd be kind of fun. I'd be into that.
We're gonna do it.
I was gonna say I'm looking forward to months and years ahead of you coming up going, oh my gosh, did you see about that one celebrity? And I go, no. And who was it? And you go, I don't know. I just know that a thing happened with a guy.
I know.
And I go, oh, was it a guy? I don't know. It might have been. I'm like, oh no.
Do you know the Oscar nominees came out today?
I did see that one. I was able to consume that content without being on TikTok.
It was on the New York Times. That's what I saw. So that is okay.
Yeah. It's good times.
For sure.
Do we want to talk about some of the book picks?
Yeah. I want to know, was that easy, hard for you? I found it, I thought about this a lot and it was actually tricky for me. And then I thought about it, like, how can I expand this in a way that actually makes sense and bring it back to news literacy? Yeah. So how was it for you?
This was hard.
Yeah.
Mostly because we did an episode about this last year and there were so many good titles on that list. And so I was trying to limit myself of not repeating.
Sure.
I think it's going to be impossible. So I think we're going to pull some of those titles to put in our supporting list because there were so many good ones.
Yeah.
In that vein, one of the books I found that we didn't have a last time that I thought was a good ad for right now is Ghosting the News, Local Journalism and the Crisis of American Democracy by Margaret Sullivan. What made it stand out to me is I feel like a lot of the retrospective books of talking about like, the history of journalism and the importance of local, local news sources. It's a little bit more of that, of like, it's the remembrance, it's the fond memories of looking back. And this is not a nostalgic remembrance. It's really an alarm bell about the importance of local and homegrown news, the crises that these sources face, and it's a call to action.
Sure.
So really powerful book. It's a pretty easy read. It's not super long. So I think it makes it a little bit more accessible, but I think for right now, local,
news reporting.
Thank you. What they're kind of under right now for, trying to get the news out there.
Sure.
I think it's an important book to read.
I love that.
Yeah. But
great addition.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you, you found more though. I was looking at our notes.
I did, but I had to think about it for a long time. And so I feel like this might be my approach for the year. I always think about like what I want to read because it's not been published yet. Something maybe I've one is currently reading, and it relates, and I will tell you how.
Okay.
And one is not a book; it's a DVD that I remembered, and I just was channeling her.
I can't wait.
Okay, so the first book, which is I think it's coming out in February.
Oh,
it's called "The Greatest Sentence Ever Written" by Walter Isaacson. So I have seen this posted for like new nonfiction to watch out for over the past few weeks. And it just, I mean, normally it's probably, I don't know if I am going to read it, but it tickled my mental something.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I really want to actually listen to it in audio because I think that'll be great. I don't really dive heavily into like super history type books. I'm more of a historical fiction kind of gal. But anyway, so the premise of this book is to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. Happy birthday. Walter Isaacson takes readers on a deep dive into the creation of one of history's most powerful sentences, which we all know. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Drafted by Thomas Jefferson and edited by Benjamin Franklin and John Adams, and it lays the foundation for the American dream and defines the common ground we share as a nation. So Isaacson unpacks its genius word by word, illuminating the then radical concepts behind it. And I thought, oh, how fun would it be just a deep dive into this one very impactful thing and to make all these connections to it. So I really hope, I mean, I'm going to probably put in a little request to make sure that we get the audio version because I do want to listen to it. So I thought that was fascinating, and it does relate to everything that
yeah,
for sure.
I'm also impressed that you were able to say that sentence and not sing it to the tune from Hamilton that also says that line. We hold these truths to be
Oh my gosh, I've never been good at that. I've always admired people who can just like whip out lyrics in the beat. Not my strength.
As you heard me whispering just then, I also can't do that, but so
I support you, Maggie.
Thank you.
So, and you probably do this as well. Like when we have like a little bit of a tougher podcast subject. Not that this is tough, but it's tricky. Like it's not one of our strengths. We love media. And
it's not one of our
literacy.
wheelhouses that we're normally
for sure.
in.
We can't whip out like titles right and left.
Yeah.
Like some of our news folks can. So the second one I was thinking about, because I was thinking about Jane Jacobs. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, so more. I was remembering watching, I think it was in 2017, Film Streams, and oh God, who was it? It was a collab of another organization in Omaha. So she was just really a remarkable woman. So I'm just gonna, and we had the DVD. So watch it. So little note is a timely tale of what can happen when engaged citizens fight the power for the sake of a better world. Think about that for a moment. Arguably, oh my God, I can't say that word. Margie. No one did more to shape our understanding of the modern American city than Jane Jacobs, the visionary activist and writer who fought to preserve urban communities in the face of destructive development projects. I really love that. She was an amazing woman. This film vividly brings to life Jacobs' 1960s showdown with the ruthless construction kingpin Robert Moses over his plan to raise Lower Manhattan to make way for a highway, unleashing a dramatic struggle over the very soul of the neighborhood. So think about that. Soul of the neighborhood, communities, neighborhoods, making a better world, us connecting together. Like it's really great. And I think those are great things to think about as we consume all of this. Are you pulling up a picture?
I'm pulling up a documentary that made me think of that has ties to Omaha.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. So that I we'll add that to the show notes, and we do have some of our books, so we'll add that in as well. But it was a remarkable film, And then my last pick is something I'm reading right now. And it's called When Trees Testify: Science, Wisdom, History, and America Black Botanical Legacy. And that's by Beronda L. Montgomery. And it's actually not quite in our collection yet. It is on order. So maybe by the time this podcast drops, it will be there. But she's amazing. And I met Beronda here in Omaha because she was, you remember our friend, author,
Our good friend, Ramona. Yeah, I know Ramona.
So she was in conversation with Ramona for MCC's National Book Foundation, celebrating the 2025 Science and Literature honoree, Ramona Usable. And she, by far, was such a great she did such a beautiful job of asking some of the most deep and thoughtful questions. She blew me away. I've never, a lot of times you see in conversation, it's like the typical questions like, where do you get inspired to write? All great questions, not saying they're bad. But she asked some really interesting questions. So it was just beautiful. And I just was stunned by her. And of course, I bought her book because she had her book there too, but she came out with this book and I was curious about it. So I'm actually listening it on audio. So just a little bit more about that. So she is talking about the histories of trees in America and also the histories of Black Americans. So she kind of goes through the trees, like pecan trees were domesticated by the enslaved African named Antoine. Sycamore trees were both havens and signposts for people trying to escape enslavement. Poplar trees are historically associated with lynching, and willow bark has offered the gift of medicine. So these trees and others testify not only to the complexity of Black American narrative, but also its heritage of Black botanical expertise that, like Native American traditions, predates the United States entirely. So I thought that absolutely relates to all of this because it is talking about the history and what is surrounding actually Black history through the trees. And I think that's really a beautiful way to storytell. And I am loving it. It's such a great book. So I'm about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say ties also really nicely to my new news source, which is Reddit, because tree law is really big on there.
Oh.
There are a lot of laws regarding trees and what you can and can't do to them. And what happens when you take out trees and how much money you have to pay when you're supposed to do it.
Well, I didn't know that. I would think that with the giant sequoias, I'm sure people can't just go. You can't really. I don't even know how you would take that tree down. So I don't know. And there might be some other endangered trees.
If you took down your neighbor's tree when you weren't supposed to, it gets expensive.
Do you have a favorite tree, by the way? So growing up, there was a lot of weeping willows in West Virginia.
Oh, I do love a weeping willow.
Yes.
They're beautiful.
And she talks about weeping willows. So that brought back that memory. And I would say it's still very much in my top trees.
Okay.
But I've read
love it.
My top trees. Everybody loves an oak, but the oak has a lot of leaves. They keep on giving fall.
What this is reminding me of is recently when I was trying to find my husband's parking pickup truck in a parking lot, and I had to set up a text that says, "Fun fact: did you know that all trucks look exactly the same, even if they are a different color and brand and make and model?"
I can't tell you.
Fun fact for you:
the number of times I've gotten tried to get in the wrong car when I thought it was my car. Yeah, that happens.
I got all excited and approached so many trucks.
Yeah,
thinking it was our truck. It was never our truck.
So the red bud is my favorite.
I will be Googling that right now to understand what it looks like.
You would totally know it. They're all over Nebraska. We have like 7 of them in our tiny little backyard, and they were all volunteers. And we have
yes.
Yeah, you totally know. Yes, you do. I was like, you probably have one in your yard.
Very springy, very friendly.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
I love them. And love a good magnolia. Yeah.
Well, we all do.
Throw me a pine. I don't know.
A
But anyway.
Japanese maple. I don't know.
Japanese maple is really lovely.
I'm just going to start saying tree words that I know. Oak.
But I mean, the lovely thing about Miranda's book is like I'm learning so much scientific facts about the tree, which I do love sciencey things. And I also love how she's intertwined the history through this and the literacy through this. Yeah.
I love that.
So there you go. And also I just want to make sure that we're gonna add all the goodies from our 2025 interview with Matt Wynn. Because that was so fun.
That was and that's a big reason it's challenging. I feel like all the little goodies and the books and titles that we talked about at that one, it was like, yes,
so fun.
I still support all those.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll also have Daniel gave us some book racks.
Yes, you want to talk about those, Maggie?
I do. So he gave us a few of just books that either he's really enjoyed or just he thinks speak to maybe the experience of not just being a silent witness, but like you're watching and you're telling. So the Hunger Games series by Susan Collins, all of them, but
I've not read it.
Oh my gosh, you would actually it's supposed to take place in Appalachia.
What?
District 12 is supposed to be Appalachia.
Okay.
She's very I say like Appalachian coded, just that it's like she's in the nature.
Okay.
I think
I'm adding it.
They are very well written. Another was The Keeper of Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger, who I have heard of that series. I have never read any of them.
Right.
But we do have that in our collection. And then for nonfiction, he selected The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom, which is by Sherry Franke, who is a former child of a family vlogger, whose mother / the family vlogging situation came crashing down pretty publicly. It was a crazy situation.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could talk about it for a while. We'll talk. I'm going to yell at you off mic about it. Like I say yell because you'll just be absorbing the words and I'm just going to say them. Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
And it was a hit last year. So we do have that in our collection. The last was another nonfiction book in it that was just the ins and outs of In-N-Out Burger, the inside story of California's first drive-thru and how it became a beloved cultural icon. And that was by Lindsay Snyder.
And I'm absolutely going to read that because one of the things that Daniel by this time you've heard the interview is that he talked about visiting Memoir and talking about hospitality and service and all of that. So I love that.
Yeah. This is also an exciting episode because we have kind of did a little mix up of how we normally do our query. Instead of doing one every single week, we're having a query of the month to give more people time to submit us answers. And we have a lot of answers, which this month, since we're kicking off 2026, we were just asking what's at the top of your TBR. So get ready for some good suggestions.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Kick it off.
So first up, fan favorite David it said Hope Without Optimism by Terry Eagleton. Eagleton is my favorite living philosopher and public intellectual, and this book is definitely a vibe for how things are. I love that you have a favorite public intellectual, David.
I love it. Yes. Gabby said, and now back to you by B.K. Borison. It's when Harry met Sally inspired meteorologist love story.
Ooh.
What more could one want?
I will
agree. I love a meteorologist.
I will
Tell me all the
getting on the whole list for that. That sounds amazing.
And then from Laura, we have the Hunger Games series and prequels. I've never actually read any of them before, and it's time that I do.
See,
I know I've got it. I'm reading it.
I really do.
Same, Laura.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next up, Michaela C., who had a few suggestions. Cool Machine, which is the Harlem Trilogy #3 by Colson Whitehead. Keepers of Lost Children by Sadiqa Johnson. With Love from Harlem by Rashonda Tate. Phases, a memoir by Brandy. Brandy. Do you listen to Good Gospel of Brandy?
Nope.
Oh, I love Brandy.
Okay.
Oh my God. Underlake by Aaron L. McCoy, excuse me. Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. And Kin by Tiari Jones.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And then next up we have from Samantha, The Elsewhere Express.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think I have that one. And then wrapping us up, Cass, The Fellowship of the Rings. Specifically, the audiobook version, which is read by Andy Serkis, who
I love it.
famously played Gollum.
Oh,
in the movies.
That's gonna be good.
He's played so many.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have not listened, but I have to imagine he probably does a pretty good job as an audio narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have one listener response.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. You want to tell
Thank
it?
you, Amy.
Yeah. We'll end on our listener response. Thank you for submitting it.
Yeah, so we do have also one listener response, which came from LinkedIn from Richard L. A coincidental reading project with my son and I as we not knowingly bought each other the same book for Christmas.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I love it.
Which is The Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur by Jeff Perlman.
I love that.
I probably want to read that.
I know,
Did you
me
watch
too.
the Tupac documentary that came out a few years ago?
I don't know if I did.
cannot remember what it was called, but it was like basically like the story of Tupac and his mother.
Oh.
Which is a very, it was a very good
I'm gonna
documentary.
go find it.
It was wonderful.
For sure.
Maybe I'm going to inadvertently join you in that book club, Richard. You have no idea
Me too.
that's happening. Maybe we're doing that too.
We're coming.
Every
Ready or
book,
not,
resource,
here we
or
are.
thing that we mentioned that we
exactly.
can link to on the internet can
Well,
be found
thanks,
in list
Maggie.
form in our
This has
episode
been
description.
a
So
very
if you
fun
missed something we
time.
talked about, check out that list.
The Book Drop is produced by Omaha Public Library. Our theme music is Trapped in Amber, courtesy of the band Lucid Fugue. Don't forget to subscribe to The Book Drop on your favorite podcast app and like and follow Omaha Public Library on social media.